Hey guys, welcome to another video where today I'm going to be doing a UCS Star Wars tier list. So we've got all the UCS sets ever made, and that doesn't include the new R2-D2 set before anyone tries to correct me, because that's not a UCS set. But I'm here with Zero, who's going to help me because he's an avid Star Wars and UCS collector. I believe he's got most of them. So
Yeah, everything past the Imperial Star Destroyer I've got.
yeah,
Oh,
so
sorry, no, the Imperial Landing Shuttle. My bad.
there you go. So we've got, ignore the colours. I know Adore should be green and Hate should be red, but, it's fine. We're going to filter them into these 6 categories, and we'll probably have some disagreements, but, we're going to try and compromise it and have like a shared kind of tier list between us two. And I hope you guys enjoy. So starting off with this one, the Giant Interceptor.
I hate this set so goddamn much.
Yeah, same. It's just so outdated.
I do appreciate what they were trying to do, and it did launch the line, but even that doesn't redeem it.
No, it's in dark blue, which even if they made it in pastel blue, I think everyone would understand, because in some scenes in Star Wars, especially in A New Hope, the TIE fighters are blue. They are pastel light blue. But a dark blue, I'm not really sure where that's come from at all.
It wasn't even dark blue; it was just blue.
Yeah, or a darker blue. What I mean, and also the wings, they're basically half see through.
Yeah, the shape is not great. It's quite blocky.
It looks like it was made in 1950, not the year 1999 or 2000 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think we should put this in Hate personally.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Then we've got the X-wing. Now I do think this is much better than the TIE Interceptor. Obviously, it's a different set than the other X-wings, because all the other X-wings are, they're all brand new. They're all untouchable, very clean looking. Where this one is realistic. It's got like a weathered effect. It's got different kind of gradient of colours on it, and it's basically the version from I think it's Empire Strikes Back, where
Yeah,
he flies.
it looks more like you'd see on the screen in the original trilogy. Like you said,
it flies into the swamp.
Yeah,
And,
it's not got any of the swamp detail on it, but
No.
it looks like a ship that's been used by the rebels.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I do like the new X-wing, I do appreciate this one has a more weathered look and used look to it, because no X-wing is brand new. It's not a showroom X-wing, but even so, it's very dated, and it was probably okay for the time. But I'm glad that they've done newer ones since. But it was 2000s, so I can't blame them too much.
I'll put this in indifferent personally.
I'm fine with it being there. I think that's exactly where it belongs.
Yeah. So then we've got the Darth Maul bust. Now this is the first one of its type. It does look outdated compared to today, but I do think it looks a lot better than some of the other sets that were released around this time, and probably better than these two. But I personally, because I have no interests in like busts and stuff, I'll put it on indifferent. I don't know if I would have bought the set at the time of release, but I believe today it goes for a lot of money on the aftermarket.
Brand new, it's around 1,000 to 1,500, depending on what kind of condition the box is in. And it's a nice set. It was decent value for the parts you got, but it is very dated again, and it was quite blocky.
Yeah.
But I appreciate what they're doing, and in a way, it's kind of quite ahead of its time, because they've only just started to do the sort of head/busts now. So it really was quite inventive of them to think about doing that, even in 2000s. But it clearly didn't find its market again, because they didn't start doing these after the Yoda.
Yeah.
So
we have the Tantive 4. I think the newer versions of these sets, which aren't a UCS set, I think it's just a direct-to-consumer set. I think that's a really nice set, but this one, I'm not too much a fan of.
I had this set, and I use the word "had" because I bought it. I got it for a cracking deal.
Yeah.
From a guy literally round the corner. I went and got it on the day as soon as I saw it, and brought it home and built it the same day.
Yeah.
And I was okay with it for a while, but over time, every time I looked at it, I just went, "That's not even the right shape. It's not even remotely the right shape."
Yeah.
And that, even though it's it's not the fact it's from 2001 that's a problem. It's the fact it's just not even remotely the right shape. Say what you want about the X-wing and the TIE Interceptor, they're actually fairly accurate in like proportions. This thing's way off.
Yeah.
And for the price I paid for it, I wish I just kept the bloody thing in the box and sold it again for more money.
Hi, does it go for more than what you bought it? Yeah.
Oh, I got it for a steal. It goes for like £1,200 new. I didn't pay anywhere half that. I wish I just bought it and sold it again. I feel like an idiot, but I still got my the exact same amount of money, if not more, that I sold it for used than I did new because of such a good deal. Yeah. So I don't hate it. I just hate myself for the money I spent on it.
Yeah, so put it in dislike, I think. Then we've got another bust, or not really a bust, a statue of Yoda. I do think the Darth Maul does look better, personally.
Oh yeah, I'm saying dislike. It just looks very creepy. It's got some weird eyes going on, and I don't think I hate it. But every time I look at it, I just go, it's not a set I'm ever gonna go out and buy because it goes for around £350 now, which compared to the Darth Maul, which to be fair, it did have more pieces and was more money, but the Darth Maul goes for just way more. And I think the market after value kind of speaks for itself. Yeah. It's not as good as the Darth Maul one.
No, nowhere near. So we have the cheapest UCS set in terms of retail price, I should specify, in this entire list. And it's a Naboo Starfighter. Now, I really like this set. I've just released a video basically advocating for more budget UCS sets like this. It was very expensive, though. It was $40 for 150 odd pieces, I believe.
Yeah, and if you think that's expensive, wait till you see the aftermarket value on it.
Oh, I know, because of the chrome pieces, yeah. They're like £20 each.
Not so much that. If you try and buy the set now, new and sealed, it's around £400, if not more.
A lot of money. But I like the set. It's not like love or adore, but it's certainly a set I like.
I mean, the aftermarket value kind of shows how much people like it. But I like the fact that they were trying to experiment with the UCS line and they were kind of looking at, well, maybe we can do cheaper sets that are more about display. And I think it pulled it off. I thought it was a pretty good set. And it certainly doesn't look too outdated. No. Either for a set from 2002.
Yeah.
So I think it's earned its place.
Mm-hmm. So we have the original Star Destroyer, I believe from 2002 or 2001. I can't exactly.
2002, yeah.
Yeah. And this set, it hasn't changed too much compared to the new one, which really speaks for itself of how good a model this was. I want to put this in love. I do absolutely love this set. What do you think of it?
Well, interestingly with this one, this is in 2002 they changed the color from grey to light bluish grey.
Yeah.
So this one was made in depending on which one you had, you could have had two colors. In 2002 it was light grey. 2003 light bluish grey.
Okay.
Very small difference, but that kind of does affect the aftermarket price of it, depending on which one you've got. So I think more people want the light bluish grey
which one. If it's still sealed.
Well, if it's still sealed, I think the box may be slightly different, but also I think it says the date on it somewhere. But most of the time, when you're looking on eBay, people usually mention which one it is or from what year.
Yeah.
But it still goes for an insane amount of money, new and sealed, even though you can buy, in my eyes, a much better one now.
Oh yeah, for £650.
But you can still buy this one, and people are still buying it, even though there's a new one out. So clearly, this
I believe it's basically half the value though. It was going for way over £2,000. This one easily.
It was going for about £2,500-3,000, like before anyone knew the Star Destroyer was coming out.
Yeah,
but it's still going for more. And even if you bought it new in box and kept it, your investment's still safe. And even then, it still stands up and it still looks really cool.
Yeah. A bit too studded, but, this is 20 years ago we're talking, so...
It's 2002. I mean, I think it holds it pretty well for 2002. And it uses magnets as well to get the shape that it gets, which some people say there's an issue with the magnets. And if you heat the magnets up or they've got hot over time, that can affect them.
Mm-hmm.
But the magnets were used, the actual magnet piece was used in over 140 sets for Lego. So it's not difficult to get the magnets, and you can get the magnets like aftermarket, made by special different people who've made them into neodymium magnets, so they last much longer. So the magnets aren't really an issue, and if you buy this new in box, the magnets are still going to be fine.
Yeah. This is, I think the shape for this is a lot thinner compared to the new one. So I think the shaping back then probably was wrong. But yeah, it's still a set I put in.
Truth be told, I don't actually know, but I'm fine with it. I thought it was a good set.
Yeah. So the new Snowspeeder.
The old Snowspeeder.
Oh, sorry, the old one, I should say. Yeah, the old Snowspeeder. What are we thinking with this one?
I thought it's pretty good. And again, even though there was a new one out, this one still goes for more. And that's either because it's rarer or people like it, or they just want
it. Yeah.
I think it is rarer too. Even though
because it's a lot, it's very studded. I think
it's very, very studded compared to the new one.
Yeah,
but I think it's still a good one, and this is probably one of the first UCS sets that like they got the proportions right on, and the sort of the shape of it right, and it looked. I mean, I don't think anyone would be disappointed with having it, even compared to the new one. Even though I'd still say the new one is better. So I think it's. I'm indifferent towards it, just simply because you can just get a better one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'll put it on indifferent.
Yeah, I think that's fair for it.
So the Y-wing, the first Y-wing, what are we thinking with this one?
I think it deserves a place in like because it was genuinely one of the first well-shaped, proportioned, and detailed, and it was the right kind of colours, the right sort of shapes, and they made these new pieces that were out there to give it that shape. Not specifically for this set, I don't think, but it was definitely helping it make itself known in the market.
It was a really good set, to be honest. Yeah, I really like this one.
Yeah, and it's great value.
Yeah. How much did it retail for?
About $120. It was $120, £110, which that's when the pound and the US. I think the US made off like Bandit to that one in 2004.
Oh yeah.
But even for 110 quid, it's still good because you get like 1,500 pieces, and it was a really well shaped ship, and it was quite sturdy.
Yeah, we'll put it in like. So the Death Star 2 are just going to move straight into a door. It's an absolute icon of a set, and it's a set they need to re-release. Yeah, and what do you think of this one?
I remember going to the toy stores when this one was out, and it was in every Smith's, every Toys R Us, every toy store that was worth their weight in salt. They had this set on display, and it was kind of a bit of a statement piece, really. Which I suppose, in a way, that's kind of what UCS is meant to be about. These sort of big statement pieces.
No minifigures, just complete display set.
Yeah, it's purely about the Death Star, and I kind of like that in a way. It was 2005, and even for 2005 standards, it still holds up fairly well.
Yeah.
I would love to see a new one, and I think they'd do it even better.
Especially, it should be more tiled up and not as studded.
Yeah. But I'd love to see more tiles.
I think the actual kind of detail and side of it, where it's kind of not finished yet, I think that's all fine. I just think the exterior panels do need to be tiled up more, and also. I don't know if you've watched videos of people moving it around, but it's very wobbly on its stand, very unstable. But it's actually quite a light set because the inside is basically all hollow, completely hollow. But it's a set I'd love to own, but something I could never afford. You're looking at about £2,000, I think. Yeah,
it's still going for about £2,000 now.
Yeah.
And that's partly because just nothing else has been out. But it was a good value set at the time, and people liked it, and people still like it. So it's clearly held up well.
Yeah. So then we've got the first and only walker of any type, or AT-ST or AT-AT, anything like that. It's the only one that's been released, and it was a long, long time ago. Hopefully, there are rumours of a UCS AT-AT, but I believe it when I see it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Did you own this set?
I did. It's the first UCS set I bought and built, and I think it was only about £60. But I think it does look rather outdated, to be honest. But what do you think of this one?
I mean, it was literally less than 60 quid. It was 58.70 or something weird.
Very weird price.
And it had over 1,000 pieces. It was actually quite big. It's quite
it's
intimidating build, considering for a 60 quid build how much Lego you actually get. It was quite impressive. I don't think it had any figs in it, but I
No.
don't think people really cared too much because you're buying it for the walker.
Yeah.
But it had didn't you say it had stability issues? Because I've never owned it.
Yeah, it was a bit wobbly. Nothing like the Death Star 2, and just what you'd expect from a walker. I think all walkers have a bit of a stability issue, I should say, and this wasn't an exception.
Yeah, it's not bad. It just could do with being updated and being tiled off a bit more. But I think it certainly deserves its praise, and it certainly deserves its criticism as well.
Yeah. So what we're thinking of Darth Vader's TIE Advanced?
It's great because no other Vader's tie has been done in the UCS scale. But I also hate it because of the pieces that they use because it's got these weird great pieces. I think the 8x8 with the sort of mesh pattern on them,
Yeah.
and they use them very liberally on this set to make up the structure.
I just think it looks bad. Like
I don't like it.
The colours on it aren't too bad. They've actually used grey and black and not blue, but that's seldom worthy entire of the praise. The cockpit piece is quite nice, but I think I believe this used rods, didn't it, around the edges? I'm not quite sure.
I don't know, but I know that the cockpit was the octagonal piece, which I'm actually not that bothered about.
Yeah.
But the problem I've got with it is it's the shape and the proportions are right, and the colours are pretty accurate as well. The only problem is it's just the execution of how they built it.
Yeah.
Although that being said, people do really like this set still, and considering this set went for only $100 and £80, which is dirt cheap for this set for a UCS set, especially how big it is. This is quite a big ship, so for a big ship for £80 is a steal. But it goes for like £800 now, and I think that's just because I haven't done another one. So this is one of those ones
because it's such a demand.
Yeah.
Like they need to re-release a set. They need to.
Lego need to do it again
In the same scale as the 2015 TIE Fighter.
So I would say, for me, I'd probably say I don't hate it, but I don't think it deserves love or adore. But I don't think it deserves indifference. I think it's okay, and people do like this set.
See, I was thinking dislike. We'll meet in the middle and like and dislike.
Yeah,
we'll put it in
I don't think it. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's a compromise. I clearly don't feel that strongly about it because otherwise I maybe would have argued a bit more. So yeah, indifferent.
Yeah, I really love this ship, and I just wish Lego did it justice rather than giving us this, and that's.
But it's 2006, so it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even for 2006, though. But I'll digress. On to another set released in, I believe this is 2006 or 2007.
It's next year, 2007.
Yeah, the UCS Falcon. I think we'll both agree to put it in love simply because there's a new one which is better.
Yeah, much better.
But I believe the price of the set was, very fair.
£350. It was only
$500, and it came with like 5,000-6,000 pieces. So decent price. It was absolutely huge. What were the figures that came with this set? I can't really see on this image.
You got 5 figures. You got Luke with these weird hair.
Oh no!
That wasn't quite the right shade.
Same with the old Anakin one.
Yeah. You got Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and all the figures are quite plain and boring, which is fine because I don't really care too much about the figures in a UCS set. I'm buying it for the ship, not the figs.
Yeah.
But they could have done with being a bit better, and especially when they brought out a new one with better figs. But the actual ship is pretty good. It holds up. It's still good today, and it's so huge and just dominating in terms of a Lego set that it really. I can understand why people still buy it and spend so much money.
This set used to go for about $5,000, and I believe it's dropped like a stone now.
I'm not entirely sure if it ever went. I'm sure it did go for $5,000, but I think the average price was about $3,500, maybe pushing $4,000. But I think it was around the $3,500 part. But it has definitely now dropped to about £2,000, £1,500.
Yeah,
pounds. That is
understandably.
That's still more than the new one that comes out. So people clearly still like it. So
it's because the people buying this aren't, looking at oh, is the new one better? The old? Everyone knows the new one's better. But people who are buying this are just the purists, the completionists.
Yeah, it's the
collectors.
classics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of another set, which is it doesn't really fit into any of those categories of a purist dream, to be honest. It's a General Grievous, a very peculiar set, and it looks very out of place compared to these amazing ships and stuff. If we're going to be honest, I don't think this should have been a UCS set.
No, but I also kind of understand why it was. It was quite a big set, and I think Lego were trying something new because this is 2008, so that they'd kind of fallen into the groove of ships. But then I think they kind of wanted to shake it up and do a prequel set as well. So I get them wanting to do the General Grievous because he's quite a unique character.
He should have definitely come with a cloak, though.
Yeah, I agree. A cloak piece would have just really rounded this off, and I'd have probably said it would have been maybe a like of.
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves dislike, although it is a controversial set. But when you look at it, because I never had it, but I had a mate who I used to go around his house and look at it. And it was quite impressive. The face isn't quite right, but I wasn't that bothered by it. And I still thought it was a really cool set, and I was quite enamoured by it. So I'd say it probably deserves an indifferent, but I'm not going to defend it because I've never had it, and it's not set that I'm going to go out and get anyway.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine it's gone up too much either in the aftermarket.
It's sold for around £65, I think.
Yeah.
And off the top of my head, in terms of memory, but it goes for around £200 now, maybe more. So it has gone up. So if you bought it as an investment, it's certainly not hurt you.
No, for 2008, it's not done too bad, I suppose. I think the next is the Death Star, the original Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
This
was the other set, 2008.
Oh yeah. I'm tempted to put it in a door because this set is an absolute icon. You see it in films. It's probably one of the most recognisable, I'd say the most recognisable Lego set ever made. It was a fantastic price. It came with around 4,000 pieces, retail for £275, and you got about 24 minifigures or something like that, which at the time, and until recently, technically it still is a record for the most minifigures in a set. Obviously the Daily Bugle is going to come out within a matter of days, which has 25. But currently it still holds that record to the most minifigures in a set. So I think for the price, the fact that it's aimed at both adults and kids, enormous playability, that it deserves to be in a door due to the fact it's just an icon.
Yeah, and I think collectors liked it because it was quite an interesting, unique set. Yeah. But kids certainly liked it, and a lot of people bought this set.
Oh yeah, it was on sale for about 8 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on sale from I think 2008 to 2015, which is quite impressive for a Lego set. So that's 7.5 months or something like that.
7.5 years, yeah.
Yeah, 7.5 years and something like that. And in the UK, if you bought this, you made off like a bandit because it was almost 4,000 pieces for £275, which is just phenomenal, and it's why they took it off the market in 2016, I think.
But we
2015.
absolutely got hard with the new one, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah. So on to the next. So do you think it should go in a door, or do you reckon law?
Yeah, I think it's earned its place in a door. I'm fine with it being in a door. I never owned it, and I probably never will because it's not my kind of cup of tea. But I know a lot of people like it, and I certainly respect it.
Yeah. On to the third set, I think we can agree, goes in a door, and that's the Tydarium Shuttle or the Imperial Shuttle. An absolutely fantastic set, which still holds up to today, 11 years later, so over a decade. They could release this set today with no changes and no one would complain. And you can't say that about many sets that are over 10 years old.
It was also literally on the money for value. It was, but for what, it's such a huge ship. I've got it, and it is just really big. If you put it on its stand with its wings open, it takes up just an enormous amount of space. If you want to kind of make it so it's easier to display, you have it in the landed position.
Yeah.
The only criticism of this set I've got is that there's some details on the back of the ship which are quite flimsy, but that's honestly not the end of the world because you don't see it half the time.
Yeah.
But if I was to remake it today, there's only one thing I'd want, and it'd be that the landing gear was built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've never seen this, the landing gear, it's literally held in by two pins, and when you put it on the stand, you have to take the landing gear off, and it doesn't fold up into the ship. It just sort of attaches onto the bottom, which is a bit lazy, but ultimately it's a collector's set. You're not buying it to have working landing gear. You're having it as a display piece, and it does it well.
It's not a Technic set, you know what I mean? Obviously, it had a lot of Technic elements in it, but it's not. Of
course, for the structure.
Yeah, but it's not like, you know, for example, people buy the Land Rover Technic set for those types of mechanics. You know, they want a working engine, you want a working gearbox and stuff like that, you know. But with this, you put it in a stand and then you leave it and admire it. And I think it certainly does its job.
And it goes for an extortionate amount of money now. It's like 600 quid new and sealed, and even then, I think it's probably more.
Mm-hmm.
I paid a lot of money for this set, but I also don't regret it.
Yeah. So next we got Obi-Wan's Starfighter. So what do we think with this set? I believe it was quite a cheap set, but it didn't have many pieces.
95 quid, I think. About that, 100 quid.
How many pieces? About 800, I'd hope.
700-ish, I think it's below 700. It's not that big of a set in terms of the piece count, but it is quite a large ship when you've got it.
Yeah.
And I do like it. It's nice, and it's quite accurate to the shape of it from the top.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the ship in 3D, because I had the Jedi Starfighter like Bandai model or whatever when I was a kid, so I know the shape of what it should be. And it's not actually that accurate in terms of the shape underneath, but from the top and on display, it's fine. But it could be better.
Yeah.
It also didn't have any figs at all, but then
it should have come with Obi-Wan.
It doesn't really bother me because
I'm
I'm
R4 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it comes with R4, but it's just the head.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the head. He just sits there in the ship. But then, to be fair, that's accurate.
Yeah.
The actual model.
Mm-hmm. We'll put it in like I think.
I think like's fine. Deserves its place there.
So, the Super Star Destroyer. I want to just put this in the door straight away. It's an absolutely fantastic set. I believe it's the longest or joint longest set Lego have ever made. That I think it's tied with the Saturn V, and it's an absolute magnificent set. It looks great under a coffee table as well.
Yeah, it's a great UCS set. Easily a door. It goes for a silly amount of money. It's like 600 quid new in box, if not more.
I thought it was more than that. Yeah, I thought it was about £1,000.
It depends. I got mine for around 600 quid a couple of years ago, and it goes for way more now. And I spent years waiting for it to get to find a good one that I could actually buy. Again, 350 quid. This is like one of the UCS sets that everyone wanted as a kid.
Yeah.
This was huge. And it's probably one of the easiest UCS sets to display because although it's long, it's very thin and not that tall. It's almost like it was perfectly designed to fit on a shelf.
Yeah. It looks great from the back as well.
Yeah, which you can't say about most sets because a lot of the UCS sets beforehand are an absolute pain to display, but this one is like almost laughably easy compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
But it was on sale for almost 3 years.
And you can even put it on your wall because it's kind of flat, isn't it? On the underside.
And I've seen people. Yeah, I've just seen people display it on the wall lengthways. I've seen people display it on the wall going up. So it's very, very easy to display, and it's good. There's only one thing I don't like about it, and it's the view from the underneath of it is not accurate to the shape of what it should be. It's almost completely flat on the bottom, which isn't how it should be.
No.
For the actual ship.
Yeah.
But I'm also not entirely bothered by that because if you're displaying it normally, you don't notice that.
Yeah.
And the top of it is fine, so it makes up for it.
Yeah, I think the price to part ratio wasn't great, but I think you have to remember a lot of the pieces are big, massive plates, aren't they?
Yeah, you got a lot of big plates with this set.
So yeah, it easily goes in the door in my opinion.
Oh yeah, easy.
So we've got R2D2 now. The new one isn't a UCS set. I don't know why, but I think this one still holds up today to a degree. I'd put it in like. I think the new one may even go into love, but I think the original one's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it was expensive for me to get this one as well. Because again, I didn't buy it at the time. I bought it after it retired,
Yeah.
many years after it retired. Um, it's a really nice set. The value is actually pretty good. And the shaping was very well made. It's quite a sturdy build. I've got a light kit for mine. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know why the new one isn't a UCS one. I'm not entirely bothered by it because if you want, most people don't care. If you want this set, you know you want it,
Yeah.
and you don't care whether it's got a UCS sticker on it or not.
Yeah.
And the new one is, I'd say, better. But this one, even still, it still holds up. No complaints at all.
Yeah. So I believe this one has a buzzsaw as well, which the new one doesn't
Yeah, it's
have.
got a buzzsaw.
Yeah. But I've got a video explaining my thoughts on why this may not be a UCS set, but I'll put that in the description below. Next, we've got the B-Wing. And I know you have problems with this set in terms of its durability, which may affect where you actually place this in the rankings.
I still like it.
It's quite maybe an indifferent set.
Yeah, you don't like Rebel ships, do you?
No, but I understand why you'd put it in like. But
in terms of its proportions and accuracy, it's pretty much there. I really like it, and the only reason I wouldn't say I love it for that or adore it for that is simply just because I'm not that massive of a fan of a B-Wing. But it is a great Lego set, and it was pretty good value. Not amazing value, but it was great. But it only sold for a year, so it didn't sell that well.
What do you think of the display stand? Do you think it looks...
Display stand's good. And actually, when it's on the display stand, it's really sturdy. You won't knock it off.
Yeah, that's probably why it's like this, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. It is one of the best display stands built for a ship. But the problem I have with it is whenever you move the wings basically, just by how it's designed, and if you go watch videos on it, many people pick up on this. When you hinge the thing up, it's almost like the bricks lever themselves off. So the wings, when you move them, often just straight up fall off, even if you're being really careful with it. Yeah, it's not great. But if it's a UCS set, how often do you move it? I barely touch mine once every 2 years. It sits there, and I'm quite happy with it. So I'd say I like it. I'd say it deserves a place in like, but probably not anything more.
Okay, we'll put it in like. So next we've got the Ewok Village, which I think we both agree should be a Master Builder set. But
the thing is, Master Builder. It was 2013. The Master Builder thing didn't exist.
No.
But people did really like this set, and still to this day, people really like this set, and they're buying it for 400 quid. In fact, I sold 2 recently.
Yeah.
It comes with 17 figs.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And I think you mentioned as well the other day this set does appeal to people of both genders, which is rare for a Star Wars UCS set, you know.
Well, one of the people who was buying it off me was buying it for their daughter for her birthday.
Oh, right.
So clearly it still holds that same appeal, and I can understand why, because it's not very war focused. In fact, it's just a little village in the trees with loads of minifigs, so I can fully understand why women
half of the
and
minifigs are
men
like
like
teddy
them.
bears.
Yeah. I can fully understand why people like this set. It was pretty good value, and it holds up well today. Although if they did release it again today, it would almost certainly be a Master Builder set.
Oh, 100%. Especially considering R2D2 wasn't even a UCS set.
Yeah.
So then we've got the X-Wing, and this is a set I'm definitely going to put in love. It's easy, just maybe even adore. The set is a fantastic set and still holds up today. I know it's not too old. I think it was 2015, right?
2013.
2013, yeah.
2013 to 2015.
Wow, so 8 years old.
I know.
Obviously, I do have a problem how it looks so perfectly like brand new, and like it's just been made.
Yeah. It's like a showroom X-Wing.
Yeah, But yeah, no complaints at all. I don't think it comes with any figures though, does it?
It comes with R2 and that's it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's the old R2D2, which is fine. I don't really mind that.
I wish it just came with like a Luke though that was unique, just a new unique Luke figure, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But then I think the reason they didn't include minifigs in it would be potentially to draw your eye away from the fact that it's not minifig scale. Because if you sat a Luke in it, it would maybe look quite weird. Luke sitting in this like oversized X-wing, but it's not that badly oversized, and it really does still stand up in my eyes. It's a phenomenal set. Its displayability is brilliant. The stand moves, so you can display it in sort of two ways. And the wings, it's got the working wing function, and it's quite sturdy. So, in fact,
does it use elastic bands or no? For the
no, I don't think it does actually. I think it uses, I believe it uses springs.
Oh, does it? You went the extra mile with it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite industrial, and in fact, probably one of the it's probably one of the only sets I'd say in terms of UCS that you could actually give to a child and they could play with it. There's not many parts that will just fall off this. Yeah, it's ridiculously well built, and there's no random bits of detail that's just going to fall off like other UCS sets.
How much did it retail for?
In the US, I think it was about $200, and in the UK, it was 175 quid. And they go now for about £400 new in box.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic investment.
For me, who's not a big fan of the Rebels or much like the Empire ships, I'd eat this up for 170 odd quid at retail, 100%.
Yeah. It's good value, good price per piece, and it stands up, and people love it even today. So it's like one of the best sets. In fact, I would probably even go as far as to say a door. Yeah. For me, I really do like this set, but I'm not overly fussed about it being in like love either.
Yeah. So we've got another set, the Sandcrawler UCS. Maybe this could have been a Master Builder set. I'm not sure if it was around at this point in 2014. I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't in 2014. It's a very strange set in the terms that it feels like it was made for kids. It's got so many playability functions in it. It's a fantastic set for playing with. It's a great set for kids. Kids bought this set and ate it up. So it's strange that they were doing it, but maybe they were trying to get kids into UCS sets. I don't know. If they bought this out today, I don't think it'd be a UCS set. Yeah. But it certainly is still a fantastic UCS set. Yeah. But it looks good on display as well if you've not got the fig standing next to it, pointing out the fact it's not a minifig scale.
Yeah.
But it's still fantastic in terms of just looking at the detail on it. And,
I don't think they could re-release this set and really make much differences.
No, definitely not.
And I think the kids more prefer the Sandcrawler generally as an appealing set than the adults, because the adults, if they're going to spend, I don't know how much this set was, I'm guessing around £300.
It was 250 quid, $300-ish.
Oh, right, okay. But people who are willing to spend that much, like the adults are going to want their ships and stuff like that, but the kids are just going to want a big Sandcrawler they can, move around and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a set that appeals to both, just like the Death Star did.
Yeah, this was the only set in 2014 as well to be a UCS set, and I'm okay with that. I've got it, and I really like it. It's quite expensive now on the aftermarket, though. You're going to look at about maybe £400 for it, but I think maybe more now, because it's appeared in The Mandalorian and people want a nice Sandcrawler set. But kids like this set because you are able to play with it so much, but it's also because you can put the figs inside it and play with them and move them around. And kids like set Lego that you can put things inside, and this does that excellently.
Yeah. What I might do, I don't know if you'd agree, I might put the Sandcrawler in love and then put the Ewok Village back to like, to swap them around, because honestly I think as a UCS set and just an Ultimate set in general, I think the Sandcrawler
it does work better. I agree with that. Yeah.
I think next we've got another Adore set. I think it's the best UCS set, or maybe the joint best UCS set ever made, and that's Slave One. It's such a complex shape to make, and if I was a designer at Lego and I got assigned to make this set, I have no idea where I'd start.
No, God
And the
knows.
way this is built is it's got like a Technic frame, just like the new R2D2 set, and it basically just built panels on top. And if this was released today, I believe it's about 5 or 6 years old. There's not really much things I'd change about it.
No, it's almost perfect. To be
yeah,
fair, the shaping of it is it's amazing. They managed to get the shape of it so well.
yeah,
The only thing I'd say is you've got to be careful where you pick it up from, like you said, because they're plates, and there's kind of nothing really keeping them plates on, apart from just sort of how they're positioned, and they're kind of sort of locking. But it's not flimsy by any stretch of the imagination. And if you pick it up by the sort of the red parts, like the actual bit it lands on, then it's quite sturdy.
yeah.
The figs as well were pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's very. I've seen people like pick it up and swoosh it around and stuff, and
Oh
it
yeah,
feels dead.
yeah.
And what people don't really talk about, but what I think needs praise, is the back of it. I think the back of it looks really, really nice in terms of
Yeah,
the detail.
certainly maybe throw a picture of the back of it up because
Yeah,
it's got an immense amount of detail there, and it's testament to how much detail you can put on a model and have it be sturdy and sort of. It's not got much playability,
no,
but for 180 quid set, which is what it sold for, $200,
yeah,
it was the price per piece was bang on.
yeah,
The quality was absolutely there. It's easily a door, and again, the price of this set now has gone through the roof because of
because
the
of
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mandalorian came out and it went up by basically about 100 quid
Yeah.
overnight.
I did sell this set for £80, and yeah, very happy with that decision.
Yeah, I didn't sell mine for 80 quid.
But the stand for the set as well is great because it's
Yeah.
just it uses two like teeth hooks. There's just two little holes, and it basically just slots in and locks there, and it doesn't move. It's really well made.
No, the stand is solid for it, and it makes it display in flight mode, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you also got that really cool Han Solo mold where you can actually put Han Solo in the carbonite, which is just really cool.
I love how the Boba Fett figure has got arm printing. And you need to do that with more UCS sets. I know the R2D2 set isn't a UCS set, but they should have given us a unique R2D2 in that set. Just give us some leg printing, or make the head swivel, or make it unique in any way. Don't care how you make it unique. It can be
the R2D2.
It can make it. It can do it the cheapest way possible, just by making one print different. But I think it should be unique and the best R2D2 figure you can get in a set. And they understood it with this Slave One set. It's like, let's give them at the time it was a unique Boba Fett figure, and
it's still the unique Boba Fett figure.
Okay, yeah.
It's only a slight. There's really Boba Fett's got loads of different weird little slight variations.
Yeah.
But this one's unique to the set.
Yeah. So another set, I believe, was this 2015 as well?
Yeah, there was two sets that came out in 2015: the Slave One and the TIE Fighter. So they were throwing them out of this year, and they were banging sets.
I think this goes in love. I think it's a really underrated set.
Yeah.
Because it's not really gone up in value much. I don't really understand why.
It's starting to now.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's only worth about 250 quid.
Yeah.
Which, considering that they went for 180, which is same as the X-Wing, this hasn't gone up anywhere near as much as the X-Wing or the Slave One. And I can understand why, because there's not as many pieces in it, and it's not quite as complex or as interesting looking. However, the actual space that this set takes up is massive. This set is huge. I would encourage you to go and look up just how big it is by looking at a video of someone holding it.
Yeah.
But considering that you've got these two big wings attaching to the body by quite small connections, it's so strong.
Yeah.
This set is so incredibly well made. It's quite a testament to how strong you can make something in Lego. You can pick this up by the cockpit and shake it, and those wings are not going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
It's genuinely impressive how strong this set is, and I'm genuinely happy with it being in love. I think it's absolutely earned its place. It was itself quite a while, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But it's just a fantastic set.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who likes the Empire and wants to start getting into UCS sets, this is definitely one I'd pick up for over retail price. Really happy
Yeah,
to
and
do
it's
so.
it hasn't gone up too much either. So if you're
Yeah.
thinking of getting it, get it sooner rather than later on this one, because
Um,
it's still not, it's only gone up like 70 quid from what it was retail, which is a lot, but it's pick it up now if you want it.
yeah. Does the TIE pilot figure it comes with exclusive, do you know?
Apparently, it's unique to that set. Yeah,
Oh, thank God for that. Yeah. That's another bonus as well.
yeah. I don't know what's unique about it,
It
but
may have arm
it's unique.
printing, I'm not sure.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't took too much attention to it. I was more interested in the ship as always.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll look at the next set now, which to me, I absolutely despise this set. Salt and Hoth. It's more of just a bunch of accessories and is not a UCS set at all, in my opinion.
So I I think the problem with this one, and I think this is why we don't get sets like this anymore for UCS, is I think they kind of it's a nice set and people who have it like it. It's not a great value set because it was about 200 and it was 230 quidish and $250 for about 2,200 pieces. However, a lot of the minifigs were unique. There was 11 unique minifigures in that set out of 15, which is quite impressive. And but I think the only problem is if they'd have made this a Master Builder series set and they'd started this as the official Master Builder series set, no one would have complained. I think the problem was it was a UCS set.
I think there's more. I think the set's just generally bad. Like you only get 4 of the circular, like the the fuel or energy kind of pieces. The base was simply just like a wall, and it was just an acting door. There was no depth to it. You get
certainly
little
requires
bits
you to use your imagination to make a base.
Yeah, like
but
the Wampa Cave is just a budget version of the Wampa set they gave us.
Yeah,
and there's no one to fight as well. We get a load of rebels, and we don't get. I believe we get like a speeder on like 1 or 2.
There's a speeder. There's a big
troopers.
Yeah, a big mounted gun. But it's more about the Hoth. If they'd have not called it Assault on Hoth and just called it Hoth base, it would have been better. This is a testament to how managing expectations is so important and how it can go so wrong. I think most of this set just went wrong because they didn't manage people's expectations by the name and by it being a UCS set. Had it not been a UCS set and not called Assault on Hoth and just been called Hoth Base, and this been sold maybe a couple of quid cheaper, maybe 220 quid, 210 quid, no one would have been upset with this. Because people who have it really like the set.
Because you went from sets like, the TIE Fighter, where you would go the extra mile, make it really nice, the Slave One, and then they give us this, where the detail isn't there. Even they couldn't even be bothered with the big gun piece, like the big circular gun. At the back, it was all just open.
Do you know what's funny? The same guy who built the Slave One built the Hoth.
Are you serious?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Same guy who built Hoth. He's built the A-Wing. He's built Cloud City. He built the Millennium Falcon, the new one, UCS set. He built the Krennic Imperial Shuttle that I know you love.
Yeah.
He's built so many good sets, and I don't think this is. I think this is simply the only problem that I've got with it. I think it shouldn't be a UCS set, but I think it gets a lot of flack that it doesn't quite deserve, simply because it's just managing expectations, and that's it. I think that's the only problem with it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it deserves a hate. I think it should at least be indifferent, just simply because when you take into context what they were trying to do, I think it's okay that it's a set that exists. I think it just shouldn't be a UCS set. But nevertheless, if you ignore that it's a UCS set and just look at it as a Lego set that kids bought, it's actually not a bad set.
But you don't even get a base, though. It's just a bunch of accessories. It's just
a
lot of stuff that'll go in your parts bin. It's just you're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, for a not. I do understand that.
I'm not sure the exact name, but I think there's another Hoth base set as a play set, and it's a lot, less pieces than that, and it serves as a better base. And if it's not meant to be a Hoth base, it's meant to be an attack scene, then they failed on that front too.
I don't think it was meant to be. I reckon if you looked at the design brief that the guy got to make this set. I think you would have seen he probably met everything that he should have done, but I think he just. I don't actually blame the guy at all. I think it's a nice set, and people who have it really like it. I think the problem is quite simply that it's just not a UCS set. But if they were to release it today as a Master Builder Series set, I actually don't think people would be that unhappy about it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to 2016 Death Star. I've got a lot to say about this one. So, obviously Lego basically hinted that they're going to give us another Death Star set, and people were hoping it's going to be maybe panelled up, maybe another Death Star 2. But no, it was essentially exactly the same as the 2008 version, but they've decided to change up the figures, added, I believe it's about 100 pieces more, and they upped the price up way beyond inflation. So I think you're right, the reason why Lego took the 2008 Death Star set off the market is because maybe they were starting to lose money on it, right? It was £275 for 4,000 pieces and 24 minifigures.
So it came out in 2015. Sorry, the first one came out in 2008 and ran to 2015. Then it retired, and then like 6 months to a year later, the new one came out in 2016, and it's still an Ultimate Collector Series set, which should have been Master Builder. I don't think it should be a UCS set. I think it should be a Master Builder Series set because it's not about detail; it's more about play and minifigs, scenes, which is what I think the Master Builder Series line is now trying to do, and I think it's doing it well. I think that should have been where they started to make the Master Builder Series sets. That being said, people who bought this set were still quite happy with it, and it was still good value for the amount of parts you got. It just wasn't as good value as the last one, and I think that's its problem. However, people still really like this set, and people are still giving this set really high ratings, and they still love it.
I think my problem is so in the United States, this set went up. I think the inflation was about $50. All in all, I think Just Do Good made a video on it. I think, or Jang it may have been, and it's about $50. And the problem is they increased the price by $100. It was double inflation. But $100 is about £70. So you'd think this set would go up about £70 for us, but no, it went up $135, which is nearly $200. So we got doubly.
I don't think that's because the set itself was so. I don't think it's badly priced.
It was like
I think
€500 as well. I think it was ridiculous.
I just think the problem it's $500 as well. $500, about €500, 410 quid.
Yeah.
It was still really good value for anyone who got it. Problem is, it just wasn't as good value as the last one, and the other one is we're saying that as people from the UK because we got an absolute bargain with the first.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was necessarily we got screwed. I think it was just everyone else was getting screwed in the first place, and it feels like we got screwed because we weren't getting it as cheap as we've been accustomed to getting it.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. But I just
to that,
but it's certainly a good set.
I put it
people
in love,
like it.
I mean, it's obviously it's an improvement from the last one, but I wouldn't put it on the same level due to those issues.
Yeah. There wasn't much changed. I think they should have just put the price up and swallowed it.
I think people would have been annoyed though. It's like there's no justification.
Yeah, they definitely would have been. Yeah. We'd still be moaning about it now.
Yeah, exactly. And they gave us new figures, and I see what they're doing, but yeah. But even it's retired now, so there's no Death Star on sale, which is I don't really remember never having a Death Star on sale.
Well, there's been a Death Star playset on sale practically since 2008. So it's been going for over 12 years.
Why have they stopped it though?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's been going for quite a long time. I think everyone that wants one's probably got one at this point, and there's so many on the market that I actually don't think this is going to be a great investment, simply because everyone had this bloody set, and everyone who wanted one, you had 12 years to get a version of this set in some way or another, and and there's so many out there because people have bought it, had it, played with it, loved it, and then sold it, and someone else is loving it now. So it's not gonna. There's like such an amount on the market that it's not exactly difficult to get.
No. So next we've got the Snowspeeder, and I love this set personally.
That's a banger set.
Yeah, it's much an improvement as the last one, and I think it's on the same level as the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing, etc. The Snowspeeder, as in the Sandcrawler, sorry.
Yeah, as good as this set was, and it's a really nice set. They got rid of a lot of the studs. It looks much cleaner. The lines are much better. The cockpit looks better. The proportions are bang on. Everything about this set is great, and it's as it should be. But all that set being said, it sold for about 2 years. It's not really gone up much in value, which is great if you want to get into UCS sets, because this should be one of the first sets you go for if you're looking for a good, cheap UCS entry set, or cheap respectively to everything else. Because it's only going for around 250 quid now, at most.
Yeah.
It comes with 2 unique minifigs, which, again, if you care about that, is great. But the price at the time was bang on for the price point. It was honestly just a really good value set, and it still holds up now, even in the aftermarket. Go get it if you want it.
Yeah. Does the figures it came with unique? Hopefully?
Yeah, both of them are unique to this set. Apparently, I don't know what is unique about them.
It'll just be,
but apparently they are.
Yeah. But then we come to another iconic set, which should 100% go in the door. Is the UCS Millennium Falcon.
Again, made by the same guy who made the Slave One and the Hoth set.
Yeah.
This set is brilliant. It's huge. It weighs so much. One thing that was interesting about this set is just how long it was sold out for. It was basically off Lego shelves for 6 months.
Yeah, it's the biggest set at the time, wasn't it, when it first got released?
This set is what caused me to get back into UCS sets. I remember I was working at the time, and looking at my phone, I thought, I'll go check on Lego. And I looked at this set, and it come out like about 2 or 3 months ago, because I wasn't really, I wasn't so much focused on Lego. I'd look every now and again and buy a couple of sets. And I remember looking at this, and I was like, oh my God, I want this set. And then looking at it, and it was like 800 quid everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to drive like 2 hours away, which for Americans is just nothing. But for a UK person, that's quite far.
Yeah, it's a quarter of the way of the country.
Yeah. But I remember just racing along the motorway to go and get it. I took a day off work, went and got it for like 700 quid, which is 50 quid more than it was selling for retail. So that was fine, because at the time these were going for like £1,000, because they were none in stock anywhere for months.
Yeah.
And Lego weren't even telling you when they were going to come back in stock.
No, I think they artificially made this. I remember at the Lego stores they only gave 5 away, which is literally nothing. It was 5 at my Lego store.
In Lego's defence, I can understand why they didn't think as many people would want this set, because it was 650 quid, and this was a massively expensive Lego set at the time.
I think they're just purposely not meeting demand because they want it to be a rare
set.
Maybe.
And I'm someone who thinks the worst of things, but I don't think that was the case. I think they were just completely unprepared for quite the demand for this set. And to be fair, I can understand it. It's got 7,500 pieces. It retails for 650 quid, which is an eye-watering amount of money for a Lego set, essentially a toy. But But even that being said, it's still a great value set, and it's a fantastic building experience. It's a nightmare to display because of just how monstrously big it is.
Though, if you are going to display, please put it in a coffee table. That's my advice. It looks so much better.
To be fair, I've got mine stuck on top of my wardrobe with a light kit in it on a stand.
But can you imagine it in a coffee table with a light kit though? Because you could make one, and it's not too much to make a coffee table.
That's great, but I haven't got a space to put a coffee table anywhere. Maybe one day I'll have a coffee table.
Not in
space
like your
to
living
put
room
in.
or something though, like outside of your bedroom.
No, there's no place for this set in the house apart from on my wardrobe, and it's.
Or if you move out, put it in a coffee.
If I move out, it'll go on a coffee table. But until that day, it's not going to happen. But it's perfectly fine up there, and it's fantastic. And it's even got interior as well. Not a full interior, but it's honestly great. It's got very little playability, but even then, it's phenomenal. It came with how many unique figs? Came with 2 unique figs.
The figures were bad in my opinion. Like, you're just missing so much.
I'm not bothered about the figs at all. Let's be
Like,
fucking
didn't we
honest.
get
If you're
like
buying a
no, but didn't we get like
650 quid set,
C-3PO and we didn't even get R2 with him?
no, because in the scene that they're replicating, R2 wasn't there because he was with Luke.
Yeah, I
So I
know,
get
but
I get that, and I'm fine with it. And quite frankly, everyone's got a fucking R2D2. If you don't have an R2D2 at this point, and you're whinging about it. You can go pick him up on Bricklink for like less than a quid.
I do like
It's
how it
not
gives
difficult.
you both versions of the radio disc because obviously it was knocked off in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, you get different discs. You get these different pieces that get put on the front. But apart from that, that's the only real change.
Yeah.
This is easily one of the best sets Lego have ever done. It's the UCS set. If you're going to be a collector, you can't call yourself a UCS collector if you don't own the ship. It's that simple.
Yeah, or I suppose if you're just not rich, but yeah.
No, you can go out and sell your kidneys then. Get it. No, it is an eye-watering amount of money, but it's a well worth your time.
Yeah. So we have another set here, another Y-wing. Now
Easily adore it.
Easily adore for you.
Yeah, easily adore. It's phenomenal. It looks great from literally every angle. Even if you turn this set upside down, there is still detail on the bottom.
Yeah.
It has landing gear that retracts inside it. It's perfectly in scale. Not minifig scale, although it's not far off. It's a little bit oversized. It comes with I think it comes with a fig actually. I think it comes with the figure for it. Yeah, it does. I was just looking at mine.
Is it unique though?
Yeah, both of them are actually.
Yeah, good.
According to what I've got up in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It fits perfectly. The droid sits in the right way. The shape is great. The detailing is great. This is honestly one of the best sets, and I think the fact that it goes for over 300 quid now, literally after it retired, the value just shot up. This is bearing in mind this sold for the exact same amount of money as the Slave One, sold for the exact same amount of money as the TIE Fighter, and same amount of money as the Snowspeeder. It had way more parts in it. The part value was amazing, and it didn't sell for that long. It was only like a year and a half. It was on sale for, and the aftermarket price shot up straight away. No new films came out with the Y-wing in it. People just liked the Y-wing, and this was one of the best sets.
It's basically a perfect set because what would you change on it?
Literally nothing. I can't think of anything. I've seen a mod that someone's done that adds the sort of a bomb bay to the back of it where you turn something and it drops the missiles out on like a carousel, and that's absolutely fucking awesome, and I might do it to mine, but that's literally it. And even then I'm not that bothered about it, but as a little extra bonus, it's a really nice detail.
So we're nearly at the end here. We've got the new Star Destroyer. Now I'm not sure how to put this in the door or love.
I love it. I've got one new in box waiting to be built. The problem is I haven't got the space because this is an even bigger set and even more difficult to display than the Millennium Falcon. Simply because although the Millennium Falcon is tall and wide and long, it's not very tall. Whereas this is wide, tall, and long. It's a bugger to display. It's a fucking amazing
I think people
thing
know
to have
that
in your house.
buying this set, it's gonna.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. You have to plan a room for it.
It's,
Unless you're the type of person who buys it without having a room for it.
Yeah, exactly like me, because I don't plan things through. The only problem I've got with it, and I don't understand why, it's the exact same amount of money in the UK as the Millennium Falcon, but yet €1,000 and dollars cheaper than the Millennium Falcon for people in the US and the EU.
It's silly.
Why they've done that, I don't know, but I genuinely don't care because it's still great value in my eyes for 650 quid. I'd love it to be cheaper, but
I prefer this set to the Falcon personally because I love the Empire.
I know, yeah, that's fine. I fully understand that.
And I think the figures that come to buy are not great, but at least they're unique, you know.
Yeah, they're both two unique figs, and I like how the Tantive can even dock into the Imperial Star Destroyer. I love that feature. Yeah, and it's even got the bay underneath it, and it's even got a little TIE fighter sitting in there as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a golden set. All the turrets are great, and I think they swivel.
The look from the back, honestly, the look from the back is just.
It looks great from every angle.
Yeah.
It's really well shaped. the people moan about its part per piece ratio, and I can understand why,
It's
especially in the
very
UK,
expensive.
because it's the exact same price.
I think it should have been £500.
The problem I think happened because you had the Millennium Falcon come out for 650 quid, and you had this come out for 650 quid.
And how many
people
less pieces is it? About 4,000?
It's about 2,000 less pieces.
Or 3,000, yeah.
Yeah, or 3,000 even. Yeah, it's about 3,000
and for
less pieces.
3,000 less pieces for no change in price. That
However,
3,000 is a lot.
And I get that. However, in defense of this set, it's got much bigger plates. Now, for anyone who doesn't understand how Lego is made, when you like the Millennium Falcon's got loads of small parts, and when you're trying to make plates are notoriously difficult to do because they're not very big, they're very flat and thin, and that is really difficult to make as an injection molded plastic, which is how this is made. And this basically all plates. It's mostly made of plates, and making plates is the most expensive. It's still overpriced. Yeah, I agree.
100%.
I'm not going to say it's not, but if you want this set, you know you want it.
If this was £500, I probably would have put it in the door. But the fact it's 650, it's going in love. Yeah.
It's just the price, and it's a phenomenal set. I'm genuinely okay with it, and it looks great. I
wonder when this will retire.
I don't know. I really don't know.
A year max. I think next summer
maybe
it'll retire.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only set that came out in its year, so it was the only set in 2019. I'm perfectly okay with this set. I really liked it. I've got it. I can't wait to build it, and it is very strong. And it's the way it's built as well. They've made it so you can take like the top of the destroyer off, and there's like a long spine along the ship, and it kind of acts as a carry handle.
Yeah.
And when you pick it up from that point, it's actually almost perfectly balanced.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's genuinely not that difficult to move around from that way, but it is a really difficult set to display.
Yeah. Okay, so the last set we've got is the A-Wing. I don't really... personally, I'd put this in a different, but I'm not really sure what you think of the set.
I like the set. Now, I've heard many criticisms of it, and I think they're all fucking justified. It's not the best proportioned set ever. It's not great in terms of what it looks like to the original. But that being said, I really like this set. There's some really clever techniques in it to get the shaping of it that it gets. And they got this new cockpit piece, which is brilliant. There's a load of unique pieces in this set. The minifigure is unique, but But the ironic thing is the minifigure that comes with the $20 Resistance A-Wing is better, and it comes with like a visor piece in it. But you can literally get the A-Wing Resistance pilot and steal his helmet and put it on, and in my eyes, he looks way better.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely fine with this set. It even comes with its one little feature that is what the A-Wing had, which is that the guns can spin around 180 degrees and shoot behind it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which is a really nice little feature to include, and actually one I didn't know the A-Wing did until this set came out.
It does look like a pretty nice little set. It's not a little set really, but you know what I mean. Compared to
but you can pick it up from many different places. It's genuinely a very sturdy set.
Yeah,
and the price is pretty good and pretty fair. Can't argue with it. It's a good set, but it's just it doesn't look great, and it's not slim enough to what it should look like. But I'm okay. I'm willing to overlook its flaws. It's not a perfect set, but it's certainly not a bad one either. And I do have positive feelings about it. And now I've completed my fleet, so I can die happy.
Yeah. So we'll put it in like, and so that finishes the tier list. So thank you guys for watching. Until the next one. Yeah. I know this was a long video, but hopefully this is something you can just put on in the background and relax to. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's video. Goodbye.